Most investors want passive income, but here's the uncomfortable truth. Almost everyone gets it wrong. They buy the wrong assets, use the wrong strategy, and they chase freedom only to end up working harder for less money. And let me show you why passive income plans actually fail. And of course, how to build one that actually works. So here's the lie that most people believe. Buy some rental properties, cash flow, sip drinks while the money piles up. And social media made this absolutely worse. Everyone's a financial guru now, and they're selling freedom like it's a Shopify course. But the real world, it's way messier. Nobody talks about the 2 a.m. calls, the insurance hikes, the tenants who vanish mid-lease, the property management, the people. The entire business is just a lot of work. They all quote, make money while you sleep. But what they don't say is who stays awake when things go wrong. And that's actually the real issue. And trust me, I started in property management way back in the late 80s. So the truth is inflation, debt costs, government regulation, they've all changed the game. And passive income, it is not as passive as it used to be. Things are much harder today. And so after 30 years of buying real estate and now owning well over 10,000 apartment units, and people think that I'm kicking back while all the money rolls in. And while it's true I have a lot of passive income, I still manage the management company. It's a fair amount of work. So what they don't see are the fires, the plumbing leaks, the hailstorms, the tornadoes, the hurricanes, the roof issues, the surprise tax bills, the insurance costs that goes up, the employee issues, which are every single day. The tenant who just ran a mechanic shop out of the garage, the person who cut a hole in their floor to cook. They used the oven racks and actually cooked. They cut literally a hole on the first floor to do their cooking. They don't see all of those things. So every single unit that you stack on is just another moving part, another liability, and another chance for something to break. This is why systems are so important. So when you're about ready to scale, guess what? It doesn't slow down. It multiplies, especially if you don't have great systems. And by the way, I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm telling you because I live this every day. Cash flow does not just show up because you bought a building. It shows up when you've got real systems in place. People, processes, policies, they're all dialed in. And they're tight, and they're managed. If you're relying on hope, good vibes, or that one handyman who sometimes shows up, that's not passive income. That's gambling. And it might be a little bit of luck. And here's the part that nobody likes to admit. Passive income, it's not passive. It's actively passive. And it just does not happen unless you've spent years building the infrastructure behind it. So you're not chasing freedom, at least not yet. You're managing fires, you're fixing mistakes, and hopefully learning fast. So if you think buying a few properties gets you out of the rat race, you might have an upgraded view, but you're still on the wheel. So here's a major mistake that I see. People think that they need at least 20 units to retire, and that might be true, but that is a long stretch goal. So they take on too much risk too fast and too quick. They over leverage. They buy out a state. They trust third parties way too early. And they don't even know how to manage any of this because they have never done it. And oftentimes the whole thing collapses. You want to know how I started? 2-bedroom, 1-bath unit that I managed myself in my own neighborhood, and I was super active. I got that one thing right. Then I repeated it. Trying to go too big too fast is what takes most people out. You don't need 20 doors, especially initially. You need one property that cash flows consistently, and it does not take over your life. So before you buy your next rental, you need this. Most people lose money in real estate, not because of the deal, but because they missed something in due diligence. So I put together a simple checklist that I wish that I would have had before I bought my first property. And I'll show you exactly what to look for, what to ask, and more importantly, what to avoid before you even ever sign a contract. So just download my single family due diligence checklist right here on the link below. So let me give it to you straight. You don't get freedom by avoiding work. You get freedom by building systems that do not depend on you. That means good property management, fixed rate debt, reserves for repairs, and residents that you screen and manage. So people chasing passive income try to skip these steps, and this is actually the opportunity for the next buyer. But real freedom is controlled. It's boring, and it's built brick by brick. So how do you win? You start with one property in a market that you understand, with numbers that work today, with fixed rate debt, of course. So just set a cash on cash return target. Let's say 7% cash on cash. That's a pretty good benchmark. Then you build in your margins. Do not bet on appreciation and buy for cash flow only. Then you self-manage it first so you understand exactly what good management looks like. And then, of course, you know how to manage it later. Then when you're ready, scale slowly. Keep your standards high and let your portfolio grow at the speed of your discipline. By far, the biggest trap that people fall into is that they project the future out as if it's going to be better. And in every case, I can tell you, it's really, really hard to get better results than the current. Now, I'm not saying it can't happen, but one of the biggest mistakes I see is people are overly aggressive on how much they're going to get on the income, and they're overly aggressive on that they think they can save on the expenses. I think passive income is a bit of a buzzword right now, and I think you just stick to cash flow. Don't worry about capital gains. Most people focus on capital gains. They buy something and they hope that it goes up like a stock or something like that. Real estate is a functioning business, and it requires real solid management. Passive income is only going to happen when you get the right systems, the right property manager, and you know the question to ask. And of course, more importantly, and most importantly, if you know exactly how to manage a property. So go slow, buy smart, and never outsource the fundamentals. So if you want to build real passive income, just start by mastering one good deal, then stack from there. So most investors actually lose money, not from bad deals, but from avoidable mistakes. So I break these down in my next video, which you can watch here.